Have you ever wondered how a routine space mission could have turned into a fight for survival? The year was 1970. The United States was in the midst of the space race, feverishly competing against the Soviet Union to assert their technological prowess and cosmic dominance. In the wake of the spectacular success of Apollo 11, the first manned mission to land on the moon, Apollo 13 was slated to be yet another routine lunar landing mission. It was a mission designed to further our understanding of our celestial neighbor. However, fate had other plans. Apollo 13's crew was no stranger to the rigors and risks of space travel. The commander was Jim Lovell, a decorated naval aviator and astronaut who had already orbited the moon on Apollo 8. Accompanying Lovell was Jack Swigert, a seasoned test pilot and aerospace engineer who was making his first spaceflight. The lunar module pilot was Fred Hayes, a skilled fighter pilot and aeronautical engineer, also on his first space mission. These were men of courage and conviction, ready to venture into the unknown for the cause of scientific exploration. However, what was meant to be a routine voyage to the moon soon morphed into a perilous struggle to return to Earth. A mission that was meant to expand the horizons of human knowledge and capability instead became a grim testament to the unforgiving nature of space and the fragility of human life within it. The crew of Apollo 13 had to contend with a situation that no amount of training could have prepared them for. A situation that pushed the boundaries of human endurance, courage, and ingenuity. A situation that forced them to confront the very real possibility of never returning home. So what exactly transpired on that fateful mission? How did a routine lunar landing mission turn into a desperate fight for survival against all odds? And perhaps most importantly, how did the events of Apollo 13 forever alter the trajectory of human space exploration? April 11, 1970, a date etched in the annals of space exploration. On this day, a Saturn V rocket, the behemoth of NASA's fleet, roared to life on Launch Pad 39A at the Kennedy Space Center. Atop this towering inferno of technology sat the Apollo 13 spacecraft, a gleaming testament to human ingenuity and ambition. For the men inside, astronauts James Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes, it was the culmination of years of intense training and preparation. Their mission was to land on the moon, to set foot where only a handful of humans had ever dared to tread. The countdown reached zero, the engines ignited, and Apollo 13 lifted off, ascending into the clear Florida sky. The Earth shook beneath the sheer power of the launch, a palpable demonstration of the force necessary to break free from our planet's gravitational pull. Those first minutes of flight were a whirlwind of activity. The astronauts, strapped tightly into their seats, were subjected to intense G-forces as they hurtled upward at breathtaking speed. On the ground, Mission Control monitored every aspect of the launch, their eyes glued to screens filled with streams of data. As Apollo 13 ascended, each stage of the Saturn V completed its task flawlessly. The first stage fell away, then the second, and finally, the third. With each successful separation, the spacecraft shed weight, gaining the speed necessary to escape Earth's gravity. The initial stages of the mission were a resounding success. The spacecraft reached orbit, then set course for the moon. The astronauts, now weightless, began their tasks, preparing for the lunar landing, their spirits buoyed by the flawless launch. There was a sense of optimism, a feeling that this mission would be another significant step in humanity's exploration of space. Back on Earth, millions watched with bated breath, their eyes glued to television screens, their hearts filled with hope and excitement. The world was united in anticipation, eager to witness history in the making. Everything was going according to plan until it wasn't. 2 days into their journey, the crew of Apollo 13 heard a loud bang. That bang was not just any ordinary noise, it was the sound of a significant failure, an oxygen tank exploding, shattering the calm of space and the confidence of the crew. Imagine this. You're 200,000 miles from Earth, encased in a small capsule, and a vital life-supporting system catastrophically fails. That was the harsh reality for the crew of Apollo 13. The explosion was sudden, unexpected, and it instantly threw the mission into chaos. The spacecraft shuddered, alarms blared, warning lights flashed, and the calm, methodical voices of Mission Control turned anxious. At first, there was confusion. The astronauts and Mission Control scrambled to make sense of the myriad of warnings and alarms. Was it a meteor strike? A system failure? But as the data started to come in, the grim truth became apparent. One of the 2 oxygen tanks had exploded. This was not just a setback, it was a potential death sentence. The crew's initial reaction was disbelief. They were supposed to be moon-bound, not fighting for survival. The oxygen tank was not just for breathing, it also provided power to the spacecraft. With the tank gone, the life-sustaining capsule started to die, systems shutting down one by one. The temperature dropped, the lights dimmed, and the once humming spacecraft became eerily silent. The severity of the situation soon became clear. The dream of landing on the moon was now a distant memory. Their mission had changed in an instant. It was no longer about exploration, it was about survival. The goal was no longer the moon, it was Earth. Their capsule was no longer a spacecraft, it was a lifeboat. The moon landing was now the least of their worries. Getting home became the priority. In the cold void of space, the crew of Apollo 13 was now engaged in a desperate race against time to save their own lives. The next few days would test their skill, their courage, and their will to survive. With limited power, loss of cabin heat, and a shortage of potable water, it was a race against time. The crew of Apollo 13 were now in a desperate struggle for survival. Their spacecraft, once a symbol of human achievement, had become a ticking time bomb. They were more than 200,000 miles from Earth, and the severity of their situation was beginning to dawn on them. The first problem they faced was the dwindling supply of electricity. The explosion had knocked out the service module's fuel cells, which were the spacecraft's primary source of power. The crew had to rely on the lunar module's limited reserves. But this module was designed to support 2 men for 2 days, not 3 men for 4 days. To conserve energy, they had to shut down nearly all their systems, plunging the spacecraft into a cold and eerie silence. Next, they had to deal with the loss of cabin heat. The temperature inside Apollo 13 dropped to just above freezing. The crew had to endure these bone-chilling conditions, their breath visible in the harsh light of their torches. But perhaps the most pressing issue was the buildup of carbon dioxide. The lunar module's life support system was not equipped to handle the carbon dioxide output of 3 men. Left unchecked, the crew would succumb to carbon dioxide poisoning. Back on Earth, the ground team at NASA was working tirelessly to solve this problem. They hastily devised a way to adapt the command module's square carbon dioxide filters to fit the lunar module's round slots. Using only materials available on Apollo 13, they relayed the instructions to the crew, who then successfully constructed the improvised device. Against all odds, the crew of Apollo 13 was not ready to give up. Their resilience and ingenuity, coupled with the relentless efforts of the ground team, turned what could have been a fatal disaster into a testament to human will and determination. Even in the face of certain death, the spirit of exploration and survival prevailed. The fight for survival had begun, and the crew of Apollo 13 was not going down without a fight. On April 17, 1970, the world held its breath as Apollo 13 re-entered Earth's atmosphere. After days of uncertainty and a perilous journey through the cold, unforgiving expanse of space, the spacecraft, carrying its crew of 3 brave astronauts, pierced the sky, a streak of light against the blue canvas of the Pacific Ocean. The successful splashdown was a sight for sore eyes, a beacon of hope in a time of crisis. The astronauts, Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes, were safe. Their capsule, a tiny dot in the vast ocean, bobbed gently in the waves, a symbol of survival against all odds. The world exhaled in relief, and celebrations erupted across the globe. From the busy streets of New York to the quiet corners of rural India, joyous cheers echoed, united in the triumph of human spirit and ingenuity. But the successful return of Apollo 13 was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of a new chapter in space exploration. The mission, despite its near-catastrophic failure, provided invaluable lessons. A thorough investigation was launched in the aftermath, a deep dive into the causes, the responses, and the implications of the mission. The findings were eye-opening. The explosion on board was traced back to a faulty oxygen tank, a seemingly minor flaw that had nearly cost the lives of the crew. The incident led to significant changes in the design and testing of spacecraft. Safety became paramount. Redundancies were built into systems, contingency plans were developed, and rigorous testing protocols were put into place. The Apollo 13 mission served as a stark reminder of the risks involved in space exploration, but it also highlighted the incredible potential of human resilience and ingenuity. It underscored the fact that even in the face of the unknown, in the most dire of circumstances, humans could adapt, innovate, and overcome. The subsequent missions, bolstered by the lessons learned from Apollo 13, were marked by an enhanced focus on safety and a renewed commitment to exploration. The Apollo 13 mission, a testament to human resilience and ingenuity, forever remains a remarkable chapter in space exploration. Apollo 13, a mission that started as a disaster, ended up teaching us invaluable lessons. This saga of courage, ingenuity, and unwavering teamwork, though initially marked by catastrophe, left an indelible mark on the annals of space exploration. Apollo 13's legacy transcends the mere confines of a lunar mission gone awry. It underscored the importance of meticulous planning, the need for robust systems, and the value of swift, decisive action in the face of adversity. The mission's failure not only reshaped NASA's approach to safety, but also spurred significant advancements in space technology. Moreover, the Apollo 13 story found a prominent place in our popular culture, inspiring countless books, films, and documentaries, all echoing the timeless tale of human resilience and innovation. It's a narrative that continues to captivate us, reminding us of what we can achieve when we dare to explore the unknown. Apollo 13, a mission that failed to land on the moon, but succeeded in reinforcing our belief in human strength and teamwork.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.